Hi guys, in this video we're going to make a little cake topper of Dobby from Harry Potter. I've got some flour and modelling paste that I'm using here, so I've just got the Renshaw's one and I've dyed it a flesh tone. I'll put links to everything I've used in the description box below. We're going to make the legs to start with. So I've taken a small piece, I've rolled it so I'm left with a ball shape at the end that's a bit thicker than the rest. I'll just tear off that other end that I don't need. And this big bit at the end is going to become the foot. So I'll just shape this slightly. So it's a bit narrow where the heel is, bigger at the toes. And I'm just going to use my Dresden tool to just push some little toes in there, creating a little dint where the bridge of the foot is. He's got quite bony ankles. So we want to try and get in a little ankle bone, just again using the modelling tool. And do exactly the same with the other leg. So we're going to make a start on the body, so roll a reasonably fat sausage shape. And I'm going to pinch a bit out the top that will become the neck. Now I've left the neck slightly further to the front so it looks a little bit hunched back at the back. Cut off any extra that we don't need off the bottom. And I'm just going to put some dints in the front of the neck so it looks a bit more wrinkly looking. And I'm just going to put a cocktail stick through the neck into the body for support. Now you can use a piece of spaghetti if you think it's going to be eaten. So I'm going to push that body onto the legs, and I've just dyed a cream colour now in my modelling paste. Roll it nice and thin. I'm going to cut a big rectangle that's long enough to wrap around the body. So we're going to start wrapping that around there. Now it's quite nice if it creases, so see if you can get some creases in. I've added a little bit of water to the body to stick it onto. Just trim it off at the sides. I'm not too worried if I'm left with a jaggedy edge. It looks quite good on this particular character. I've just poked a little hole in where the armhole would be at the other shoulder, like that. Just going to put in some extra crease lines anywhere that you think needs a little bit more. So next we're going to make an arm. So it's going to be similar to how we made the legs. We're going to roll it nice and thin, but we're going to leave a fatter bit at the end for the hand, which I'm going to flatten down slightly to a bit of a paddle-like shape. Just check the length so the hand just reaches the floor next to him. Once I've got it to the right length, we're going to cut some fingers in there. So cut a triangle out of one side and then slice in for the other fingers, and we'll add some lines so his hand looks a little bit bonier. A little bit of water on the top of the arm, and we'll just push it against the shoulder to hold it in place. I've just pushed it under that piece of fabric. Just do exactly the same for the other arm. And onto the head. So I've got more of my flesh tone that I dyed earlier. And I've just rolled it into a teardrop shape. So I've put it into a little cornflower pouch thing that I've got, just to keep it rounded at the back of the head because he doesn't have hair to put on. So I've pushed it in 2 eye sockets with my fingers, and then try and pull the mouth area out a little bit. Draw some lines in for the mouth with the modelling tool, and a couple of lines on the side of the face for wrinkles. And now let's change the shape of those eyes slightly so that he looks a bit more like he's frowning, just pinching above where the eyebrows would be. I'm going to go in deeper with the eye socket actually so they're a bit more deep set. So a little cone shape for the nose. It's quite a large bit in the middle, it's quite long, and then just a tiny ball at either side, and just get that little poke up each nostril. And we'll put a bit more definition now above where those eyebrows will go. So pushing in with my modelling tool. Now if you don't work quite quickly, the modelling paste will start to dry when you are working. Just use some vegetable shortening in it to stop it drying out. Now we just want 2 white circles of modelling paste, or you can use fondant for that bit for the eyes. Pop those in the eye sockets. I'll cover them in a bit of water, and I've got a really pale gooseberry green that I've dyed and cut out 2 small circles with. They've just gone in the eyes, and I'm going to use the same gooseberry green to just paint on around the edges, and because I'm painting it on, it's a little bit darker, whereas I only put a tiny bit in the actual modelling paste. So it looks like we've got a couple of colours. So we'll try and blend that so it's darker on the edge, bringing it a little bit paler as we come into the middle. And I've got a dot of black in the centre of each eye. Just deepen a couple of wrinkles and line marks now. Let's just make him some eyelids. So I've just used a circle cutter, rolled out the modelling paste nice and thin. We're going to trim a bit off either end, and we'll carefully pick those up and put those just above the eyes. And we'll do the same for some bottom lids for him as well. Just carefully pushing it around with your paintbrush. Do the same with the other one. So his face should be just about done, so we're going to push that onto the cocktail stick. Just need some ears. So start with a ball, and we're going to roll that into a bit of a teardrop or leaf shape, flattening it slightly, and I'm pinching the end. Just put a little line along one edge with your modelling tool. Hold it against the head for size. I'm going to take a little bit off I'm gradually shaping it as I'm putting it against his ear, so I've curved the end of the teardrop shape slightly. And I'm going to stick that on with a bit of water, giving it a good push on in place with my modelling tool, and I can draw a couple of wrinkles in the top or lines. And you just want to repeat the same now with the other ear. Getting that teardrop shape to start with and then sticking that on. There he is, all finished. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and leave me a comment below. You can see more of my tutorials by clicking on the images on screen now. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button to stay up to date with my future tutorials. There are also links in the description box below where you can find me on Facebook, Instagram and more.